Cooney, loser, bold guy. Cooney, 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 Cooney. Cooney, 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 Cooney. Cooney, 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 Cooney. Cooney, Cooney, upstays alive.
All right, welcome back to Raccoon Tweeties. We just had an epic 10 minutes of shot. We had not just Brendan Walsh for the World Record Podcast, we also had Alan Strickland Williams of Comedy Central and Conan. So it was huge. We did a lot of riffing. It was great. And we just wanted to do a quick follow-up episode as normal with the man himself, Alan Strickland Williams. Thank you for joining us in Raccoon Tweeties.
So good to be here. I've long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yeah, first-time guy on the show. We're happy to have you. So you like this whiskey, right?
I mean, I think it's fine. I'm not gonna be like, I don't think it's worth ripping on it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like to me, I'm like, if I want to, I don't really like sipping whiskey that much. So it's like, to me, this is a good experience.
I'm not a big whiskey sipper myself, really. Gerardo is sober, so he didn't partake.
But I was a big whiskey dude.
You were? Is that your drink?
Is that your drink? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like scotch. I think I said that on 10 Minutes of Shab. I'll pretty much put anything in my body.
What do you do? Do you do scotch 7 times a week? Do you do that?
I do like to make whiskey sours.
Okay.
Like that's always good, and like do it with an egg. Like really do it right. But that's about it. I'm more of a I like to make daiquiris. That's rum. Make martinis. I use gin.
So are you kind of like? Do you do mixology a little bit at the house?
I do sexology at my house.
Just banging everybody.
No, so like I have a bar. It's like a pretty cool bar. It's like it's like from the 50s, I think.
Yeah.
And when I got that bar, I really started to mix things up, I guess you could say.
So do you kind of impress chigs a little bit when you're making drinks?
Sure,
That's
sure.
Very cool.
And even just friends or just myself.
Yeah. No,
and I also have a little mint plant on my porch now. I use that for to throw in a drink or here or there, or whatever.
See, I really like that. I think that's cool. With me, I like a chick comes over here. I'm like, I basically offer them the same thing I just offered you. Water. Well, not Tiger Thick, but I'm like, water.
Have a glass Tiger Thick, then you get that thick dick, right? Right, Cooney?
7 times a week.
Sometimes a week.
I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're on the show.
Can I ask a question? So we all know Brendan Walsh left here, and he left, I'd say, a good half of the glass full, right? Mm-hmm. Is it bad to sip another man's whiskey after he left?
I feel like it's sort of like, hey, look, whatever we want to do off air, we do off air. But I think it's kind of like, oh wait, yeah, can we get it in the shot?
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's just like, we kind of keep this here in remembrance.
Yeah, Walsh. I agree.
Maybe his voice will come through and be like, yeah, things didn't work out for me. I love Brendan. Brendan's so funny.
Yeah. This is something we ask.
Also, I'm like, that's the other thing too. I'm like, God, it didn't work out for you. I'm like, fuck.
I'll say, yeah. When he says that, I'm like, but you're like, big name, like people know you.
You don't have to work a dumb job.
You don't have to work this shitty job. You can just do the podcast and writing stuff. He's
Maybe he is doing a dumb. Maybe he's like a garbage man and it's like a hidden life or something.
I'm not the guy who's supposed to be like, you're so money. I'm not Vince Vaughn. Like I'm like, what's the other guy's name?
Favreau.
John Favreau. I'm Favreau. I'm not even Favreau.
But now Favreau's more money than Vince.
That's true. True.
God, Mandalorian, give me a break.
Yep.
Yeah, and that scenario, I'm the guy that gets beat up because he pulls out a gun. Remember that guy, the idiot?
Sue. No,
Sue.
That guy's awesome.
I love all.
You know what? I just rewatched that movie. Actually, we're talking about Swingers. In case you can't put the context clues together, but it's so much better to watch it after you've lived here.
Yes,
and it's also it is impressive because I'm like, God damn, he really made this movie for no money, and even the jokes about 4 people getting in their cars and driving to another location, still hits, man. So anyway.
Yeah, I mean
Watch Swingers.
Yeah, that's a great LA movie. Then our boy Henry Punching the Clown.
Henry Phillips. Oh my God. I
another
love
great
Henry
one.
Phillips. I love those movies. Yeah, Henry Phillips is like just quintessential, one of the funniest fucking guys.
Yeah. So we ask every guest this question. Not
Ken
really.
Gar.
Yeah,
No, I'm
can
just
we go back to? We stopped doing that.
Yeah, I
you know.
know.
I was thinking would be funny is if like Shab got so mad that he actually did go after me, like he wants to fight me, but he thinks Ken Gar is me, so he beats up Ken.
He beats up Ken. Like the nicest guy.
I'm not the guy who did it. Why are you doing this? Oh, you're from Chicago. He'd beat up Ken so easily. But what I have started asking people is because I asked Shab. I asked
Shab.
Walsh this. I was like, when is the last time you did flappers? Do you know?
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't tell you exactly when, but I did. I think it might have been when I was about to do either my half hour or it must have been my half hour because I was doing like a 15-minute set. And I mean, really nice. Like really, the shows were fine and good and whatever. And I will say this about flappers, like straight up, some of the best green room food I've ever had.
Oh, really?
Like I'm not by any means, I'm not the most traveled comedian, but I've headlined places and been in different states and shit. And it's like, I literally remember eating, I think I ordered something like kind of healthy, which is always a real risk at a comedy club.
Yeah.
And it was fucking good. And it came out like a lot of times too, this is super interesting. But a lot of times
for the Raccoon Tweeties listener, that's probably right.
Well, it's like, there's like a whole science to like, when do you place the order and when do you, cause then it's like, you got to eat and you don't want to eat something too filling. Like then you're just lumbering around. But, the timing of it worked out perfectly. And it was like I think I just got like maybe a chicken Caesar or something. And I was like, I mean, this is what I remember about flappers.
Yeah, no, they have good salads there. I worked there, so I ate a lot of their menu.
Yeah.
But when you said green room food, I was like, damn, did they put out food for you? Like
No.
I
I placed an order from the kitchen.
Yeah, they do hook you with a meal, which they should for the comedians. So that's not a strike against them.
And they paid. Like I got paid, not a ton, but for in town.
Yeah.
And then I think everyone always says this whenever anyone talks about flappers, like parking.
Yeah,
it's
parking
really
is
easy
great.
You can go there and park and go do the show and leave. It's like,
which is an indictment on the club because the parking is so easy and they're still struggling. Their struggle so hard. But parking is the main obstacle.
When Buffalo Wild Wings is right there, it's like, come on.
People are choosing Buffalo Wild Wings over fucking...
I'm getting the spicy garlic, dude. Like, I'll see you later.
That is such an indictment of the club. Parking is so easy; you can just go there and watch it. But you know, my favorite flapper story is that do you ever hear me tell the when I had the plumber come to my house in the valley?
No,
because this is before the script. Before I said that Barb took a shit so big that it clogged all of Burbank, and I'm like, in the back of my head, is like, is that where it came from? But it's not. The story with the plumber is not where it came from. Because to be totally honest with you.
So this is the plumber that also works at Flappers.
That's what's funny about it. Okay. So I'm living in the valley, right? And I have plumbing issues in my house.
Sure. We
and
don't have to get into it too much, but
yeah, right. I'm going too deep. This is my 30-minute comedy. So the plumber's over there, and I'm embarrassed I told him I'm a comedian, but I did. Oh, God. Yeah, it's sad. And he goes, oh yeah, you do comedy? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I work over at Flappers. I'm the plumbing over there. And I'm like, oh yeah. And he's like, they're not doing good.
That's hilarious. I also love how LA that is. It's like, even my plumbers like being like, oh, I know comedy. Yeah. That's so funny.
Yeah. Even he said, unprompted, he said, they're not doing too good.
They're not doing
They're struggling.
Yeah. They're struggling. Their pipes, not so good.
Were you, Bob takes these big shits. It was the 90s, okay? Back in the 90s, you suck your dick in the Yoo-hoo room. Fuck Bob there. They're delivering food now. That's a shout out if you watch that episode. Did you see
I think I remember that. Yeah.
The trailer that had 13 songs in it. And another song for this 15-minute trailer for a movie that'll never come out.
We're delivering pizza.
They deleted all the comments that people wrote where they were
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah. The ones that are like, where's Cooney in this? There's like 20 people. 'cause
Oh my
somebody
god!
posted-
God, I love how much
Doom
you are.
scroll.
I love how much you're a problem for them. Is that guy there? Is Richie still there? Does he still work
No,
there?
no,
Okay.
no.
'Cause
Richie's
that-
been fired. Dimby's been fired.
Because that was, I think that's when I did it. Like Richie was there, and Richie was always like, I thought a nice guy, and like, whatever.
Yeah,
But
he's nice. Yeah.
anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
You know more than me.
It's so sad. When you were there and doing it, were you the 15-minute sets? Was that you running stuff for the 30 minutes?
Yeah, I think it was just like my manager tried to give me just stage time, and it might have been longer, but I'm because I think it was like one of those shows where they're like 4 or 5 people. Because I think like Kilmartin was there too, but it's a little fuzzy. I mean, it was a fucking long time ago, but.
When people say man, I talk to my friends about like their managers and stuff, and I always wonder what managers say. I've never had a manager, so I wonder if managers are like, to be ridiculous. They're like, hey, so the Shab guy, have you ever thought about like doing the kind of like podcast or like Sarah? So Sarah Cooper, she's doing the Trump thing. You ever think about doing a little Trump thing or whatever? Are they really like a Hollywood stereotype?
I mean, that's not what my manager's like at all. But I bet some are for sure.
I mean, I have heard no stories like this that people saying their managers are like that, but I want to believe that they are like, because in some of the Henry movies, there are managers that say ridiculous things.
and I think also it's like, I kind of feel like maybe that's more even agents than.
Oh, yeah.
managers
See,
or
I'm so
whatever,
dumb.
but
I don't even know the difference between them. People have explained them, but I don't.
There's kind of not really much anymore because what agencies used to do is they used to quote unquote package things, which is like, and I think I don't know if I went to the Supreme Court, but there was like some huge legal issue where all the agencies had to be like, okay, we're not going to do that anymore. And it kind of has been like, okay, now all agencies do is like acquire other entertainment content creating companies and TikTok people.
Right. And all I have is a flapper script. I won't even edit TikTok clips. These clips from I refuse. I bought the Adobe Suites. I just wasted my lawyer money on it.
Oh, really, dude?
Oh, really, dude?
I use Adobe
You're not
Suite
a
7
lawyer.
times a week.
And I just instead of editing, I make photoshops of like flappers and like
Of Zach Levine.
Who's Zach Levine again?
Wait, what's his name?
Adam Levine.
Adam
Oh,
Levine.
right. Yeah,
Adam Levine.
Adam Levine texting me about flappers as one of them. Didn't even do that. What a giant waste of time.
It did
that was.
great.
No, the one that did the best is the Sydney Sweeney thing.
Oh, yeah.
I photoshopped Sydney Sweeney between Osama bin Laden and El Zarqawi.
No, you should do. No, remember when there's the thing from what's the show that they're all on? Those kids, the
Euphoria.
Euphoria, where she's in the tub. You should have been like first time in the flappers bathroom.
Oh yeah, believe me. Oh, believe me, I thought of doing that. I probably did do that. Fucking their bathroom still smells like shit. I don't know what that is.
That's their problem.
It is. It is.
It's not our problem to figure out.
No, then obviously, I hope they're still using the same guy, the plumber's guy. But we'll see.
So funny.
They're not doing too
That's
good.
so funny.
Yeah. We should shout out Fritz, your boy, because he
James
listens,
Fritz,
right?
James Fritz, love that guy. Been hanging out with him a good bit. I was just out in New York and Chicago.
Oh yeah, what were you doing out in Chicago?
I was supposed to go to New York for a wedding in July. I got COVID. I couldn't go. And I was like, if I don't fucking go now, I'm not going to go for another couple of years. And then Fritz's girlfriend, Nadia, was having her 40th in Chicago. And she was like, you should come to Chicago. And I actually found I flew from LA to New York to Chicago and back, and it actually made sense. And seeing Fritz in Chicago is like
different view of Fritz.
It was awesome. He was happy. I was like, oh God, because I met him there. There's this comic, Brendan McGowan. Shout out to Brendan McGowan. Super funny guy, and also just like New Chicago. I was dating Megan Keister at the time. We went to Chicago. We Brendan McGowan, this guy, he basically prints out a walking tour of Chicago, and he booked us on shows. So he was like, wake up around this time, go down here, get the Italian beef, go here. This is the first tallest, this is the first skyscraper in the country. this is some art. And then like at one night, it was like, we're doing the Bee Kitchen. He's like, a nice young man named James Fritz will meet you there. And I meet Fritz and I like instantly fall in love with the guy. Probably see him tonight. But I love James.
That is the best thing. Or one of my favorite things about comedy is that kind of thing where you go to a different city and somebody shows you all the best parts of the city. And then you get to do stand-up.
And then and he took us to, I believe it was called Lottie's, which was the open mic at the time. I think there's probably is still an open mic there, and some other like haunts in Chicago or whatever. Like also, I've always lived in LA pretty much. In Chicago has 4 a.m. bars. And so we went to this place, I think it was called the Owl. And and that was also New York and Chicago. Just even on this trip I was just on, I would like be at a bar and like I check my watch, it's like 2:30. I'm like, oh wow. I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
But yeah.
Is McGowan in here? And I've heard that name.
I think he's like in North Carolina now.
Oh,
I think he had to move home to like help out his family and shit.
So the dream is that I can't go to Chicago and find my new best friend. And
no, you can. I mean, here's what I'll say too. I just went there and like I got on a show in New York and I got on a show in Chicago, and like Chicago just is a fucking great comedy town. It just is. Like
I want to go there.
You should. You would do great there. And it's like it really is. It's like one guy who knows one guy. Yeah. And then you're going out all night and you're having a good time.
You're hanging out with Red Bar. You're
hanging out with Red Bar. Yeah.
Just kidding. Dicey. The place that I went, the only place where I had like a thing like that was Milwaukee. I did a comedy festival. I went up with Simon Gibson and MK Paulson and some other people.
Good kids.
Yeah, great guys. Shout out to them. And like somebody drew up a plan of like all the cool places to go, and the places has like maple bacon, and so we just got trashed and we ate a lot of food. And it was right near Chicago too. Yeah, if I didn't have the job, I would have gone to Chicago. And
you got to do it. I mean, it's nice too, especially when you're out here. It's just like it just sucks out here, So it's like it's nice to just go somewhere else and be like, oh wait, I'm funny, and actually other people are funny, and it's like it doesn't feel so like
doom and gloom.
Yeah, or like that I don't even know. I'm not trying to be too negative or whatever, but it really was invigorating and fun, and like
I could see it being a lot better. I mean, I had a lot more fun in that small time in Milwaukee than I did here. And then you also, it was kind of crazy that you ran into Lisa there too. And she was
they were there for Shaun White's wedding.
Yeah, they were there for White's wedding.
And so that's one of my favorite things about comedy is running into people in another town that you didn't like. One time I ran into Barbara Gray at like somewhere. There's some comics from at the time Denver that now live in New York that I ran into them in San Francisco. We just talked shit about the entire comedy world for like 2 hours. I'm like, oh, this is why you do it. It's fine.
There's always like somebody, if you've been in at least one other scene, there's always somebody that you're going to like know.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And it's also like, I don't know about you, but I'm like, when I'm in that position, like I'm probably a little bit happier than I usually am. Right. And having a little bit more fun.
Yeah. Well, you're on vacation. You're out of this rat race or whatever.
Like I took the week off work when I went on those trips too. So it was like, I really was just kind of like seeing friends, doing whatever little shows I could jump on, and also just to kind of get out of town or whatever.
I mean, I decompress. I'm off work, and then on the comedy thing is like I can take off the flappers tweet, the jacket, and like not have the pressure, all the hats I wear. Stop talking about fourth wall for a minute. Stop worrying about Chatterbox.
This weekend, Brendan was on a Latino show, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, well, you're in with that, right?
Yeah. That is my fan base is Latino youth centric. That's true. I mean, I did okay. I wouldn't say I did great on this one. I'm not sure my fan base extends to ECMO listeners. I went up and I was like, you may know some of the ECMO drama. I was like, we got to stop losing hosts. We lose too many hosts. Not too many laughs at that. I also said I was Melvin's dad because Melvin's like 7 feet tall, but I didn't deliver it well. I think if I delivered it well, I would have done it.
You'll get another shot.
I told them there's a friend of ours, this Miguel, he produces Gerardo. Well, it doesn't anymore, but Gerardo fired him. But
I fired him. Yeah.
But Miguel went up and I was like, I'm going to tell them that you said they suck. And Miguel's like, please don't do that.
Please don't do that.
And I said, don't worry, man. I'm not going to do that. But then I
Wait,
started bombing. and I did
you
it.
mean like tell the host?
No, the crowd.
Oh, the crowd.
I went up there and I told Miguel, I was like, don't worry, I'm not going to actually do that. And then when I started bombing, I was like, Miguel said you guys suck. I'm not a good guy.
No, I don't know though. It's like, I mean, it's just comedy. It's like you
got it.
on stage. It's just like who got, it's like a knife fight or whatever. Who
Yeah.
gives a fuck?
They really, I mean, I just started not doing so great. So I just started riffing with the crowd and they liked that a lot more. They
Yeah.
had fun. They went with me. It's the landscape is changing. They were all into the pro. I don't know if it's really changing. I'm just rambling now, but I just talked about pro-choice, and they were all
What's
into
that?
that. Yeah, what is that? What is it? What do you mean? What you talking about, man? I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, man. I'm a notary.
I'm from Jacksonville.
Jacksonville, sweet Carolina, Jack Johnson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're from Jacksonville?
Jacksonville. Yeah.
Wow. When did you move out of Jacksonville?
Whenever I graduated high school, I went away to college and then basically never came back. But so what was that? 2004 or 8?
Damn.
Whenever that was.
Well, that's part of the great bit that you have when you talk about how California and versus Florida, right?
Or no, but South Florida is like the Walmart or Florida's the McDonald's inside the Walmart. Or no, Jacksonville is the Florida inside the. Florida is the Walmart. Jacksonville is the McDonald's inside the Walmart. We had a McDonald's inside our Walmart.
No, you didn't.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Where I grew up.
We had a comedy club that
Well,
was
you're
a macaroni
from.
grill
Are you
once.
from
Rancho Cucamonga.
Rancho? Okay, yeah. I mean, that's the thing I will say too. Moving out to LA, I moved out to LA in like 2008. I was like, oh, this is what Florida doesn't even know it should try to be.
Yeah.
There's a lot of similarities. It's just classier and cooler and chiller out here.
Yeah.
What about comedy in Florida? Do you do that?
I mean, I've gone back and done it here and there. Because like Katrina Davis, she's from Jacksonville. Very
I didn't
funny.
know that.
Yeah, so like I actually saw her in a show one of the few times I think I've only been back and done comedy in Florida like 3 times. One time I opened for Nate Craig at call back to Shab at who's the Belushi that died?
Oh, James?
John Belushi.
So John
I know
Belushi
John died.
So
Or Jim died.
Jim
Wait,
Belushi.
John died and Jim.
So Jim Belushi has a comedy club in Fort Myers that is above a tilted kilt. Do you know what tilted kilt is?
No.
Tilted kilt is like a mountain themed Hooters. So there's a lot going on here because Hooters is from Florida. It should just be in a Hooters, but also it's like the second floor of a tits restaurant basically, and it's in Fort Myers. So everyone was old as fuck. Like Fort Myers is like a very like stereotypical part of Florida where it's a bunch of old people. And the shows all started with a taped like intro from Jim Belushi talking about, first it starts with, you can hear him sing Sweet Home Chicago, which I guess is like, that's from the Blues Brothers. So he's doing that in like remembrance of John or whatever. But then it was just like this funny tape thing, just like, welcome to the club. And it's like, you couldn't feel more like the show's about to be like the most dead, awful thing in the world. Like they're playing a tape. Like they can't get a host or like whatever.
Yikes. That's
but that's basically my, like doing some shows back home in Jacksonville at like the only cool part of Jacksonville, which is called 5 Points. And I think it's called like Hot Potato or something like that. At Rain Dogs is the name of the bar. And I remember seeing Katrina and just being like, you need to leave. Like, you're funny.
Oh, so you met her
leave.
before she moved out here?
And she was already, I'm not trying to say, she was like, I'm moving to LA. And I was like, thank God.
Wow.
But yeah, so it's like, there's shit going on. There's a really funny guy there named Chris Buck, who's super fucking funny. And some other people too. I'm not trying to, but it's just not active. Like it's just not. And it kind of feels like in the South and that region, it's just like, I know for a minute, like Atlanta was like popping comedically. I feel like that's totally done. So I don't really know if that's true. Again, I'm not super plugged in by any means, but I remember after I started doing comedy, one of the first times I went back home, I somehow found like the North Florida version of Comedy Bureau, like a guy that just compiled shit.
Yeah.
And there was like maybe 2 open mics on the thing, and one of them was at a Starbucks. And I called them because I was like, hey, is the open mic still going on? They're like, yeah, but it's acoustic and Christian only. And I'm like, oh God, like it's like a music, whatever. So I'm like,
How are you supposed to do comedy at that if it's acoustic and
no,
Christian?
that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
it wasn't
yeah,
even
yeah,
a comedy
yeah.
mic.
Right.
So I'm just like, damn, there's really no place to
That's
to
crazy.
do this. But I mean, I started out here, so it's like
Yeah,
I never really made inroads there or anything.
The only thing I know about Jacksonville is like from that show No Jumper. They have
What is
all
that?
the- No Jumper is a podcast with this guy Adam. Was it Adam 22?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like a big guy with tattoos, and he interviews gangster rappers on his show.
Oh,
and
shit.
a lot of them are from Jacksonville, and
Okay.
I don't know if a lot of them are, but there was like a huge beef in Jacksonville, and they kept killing each other. So they go on his show. They would
To, like,
talk.
to quash the beef or whatever.
No, to like encourage the beef. I don't think he's encouraging it, but they'd be like, I never watched any of those episodes, but I heard that people were just getting murdered. Right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So were you
Duval?
in any of those gangs?
Well, I mean, look, the rap scene's always been great in Jacksonville.
Does murder make rap better?
But no, yeah, I don't really know anything about that.
Yeah. I don't know why I brought that up, but that's my only interesting fact about Jacksonville.
All I know about Jacksonville is that they have like a military presence, right?
Yeah, big time. There's NAS Jax. There's Cecil Field, which I think actually shut down. But yeah, there's a ton of like growing up, a lot of field trips that we would go on were obviously just like recruitment exercises. When they're like, you could sit in a plane and like, don't you want to be a pilot? And it's like kind of awesome
That's
or
good.
whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
planes are awesome. But yeah, there's a big military presence there.
What do we like? People like us, we could scam younger comedians, right? Like not to say that Fourth Wall is a scam or something like that, but like we could do something like Fourth Wall.
You know
or
my
we could
favorite
do
thing about
bringer
Fourth
shows.
Wall? I didn't really know anything about Fourth Wall. I knew what Fourth Wall was, but when you had the guy on, what was his name?
Joe Manente.
When you had Joe, who I thought was a great guest too. Like,
Thank you.
I
Yeah,
thought it was
I
a
love
great
Joe.
episode. It was just funny because I was like, let me just check this out because fuck it, maybe it does make more sense to like just throw down $5 and like whatever. Like I mean, first couple of years of starting, I did not have $5. I have $5 now.
Yeah,
like like
disposable
I
income
have
now.
$5. But it was funny. I looked at the website and I was like, because they put all the names of
Yeah, you can
everybody
see,
of
yeah.
all the shows, and I was like, I don't recognize a single fucking name. I'm like, maybe I won't do this.
You don't recognize Joey Coco Diaz? Joey did it. I remember the first time I went there, Joey's in the back like,
Really? That's so funny.
I just kidnapped this guy.
In the 90s,
90s,
dick
but
was
it's
part of the belly room.
Were you here when Marty's was here?
I was, but I made the conscious decision never to go to
Because
Marty's.
that's just kind of what it sounds like to me. Is that like
Oh, no.
no better,
I mean,
worse.
better. Yeah, that's worse, yeah.
Marty's was like, and it moved around. It used to be in Burbank or somewhere around.
Oh, it was in
somewhere
Burbank?
in Burbank for a minute, and it literally was like an office.
Yeah.
And like, but then it moved to
Hollywood.
somewhere, yeah, in
Yeah.
Hollywood, and then that was kind of like the actual iteration that people know or whatever. But I mean, and he would put up these like headshots in this, it's like
Yeah.
in a cubicle.
You did it?
No, I went and like decided not to.
Marty's
Yeah.
around the end was huge though. Like the
Oh,
went to
people go there
Marty's?
all the time.
You went to Marty's Room?
I went to Marty's twice, but I never did stand up.
Oh, you just
I
watched?
just went to check it out.
I went and he basically like made us wait around. This is when I first started stand up though. This is like 8 years ago. So
Okay.
he made us wait, and then when Gerard, now what's his name? Neighbors. Jamar Neighbors. Yeah. He was rolling around with a couple people. He made us start watching their comedy. I was like, fuck this. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And then Marty was like, wait, come on. But he told us all of his rape jokes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the classic thing. If I wanted to waste our time, I'd look up my tweet that I wrote about it. But it's like I was said something along the lines of there was a mic that was around that was described to me as terrible. Not many people would go. Sometimes you'd be performing for no one, and it always opens with the same guy who would do 10 minutes of jokes about pedophilia.
Sure.
And that mic lasted for 7+ years.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it was my first mic or one of my like first 3 mics was Haha Cafe out here.
Classic.
And that was very much like it was a bringer or not a bringer. It was a pay to play situation.
Yeah.
And there are a couple people on it. I'll tell you later.
Crystalia.
Not to talk shit or whatever. But I just remember the guy that ran it was like, and when I first started, I was like trying to be like Jeselnik or whatever. I was like, I want the best, like, you know, the best, worst jokes or whatever. And completely would have been canceled or whatever, but probably was actually. But like the guy, I remember the guy was being like, that rape joke was great. I'm like, oh God, what have I got myself into?
You should put like AIDS into that. You know, like how Africans get AIDS.
Oh no, it wasn't a rape joke. It was about John Benet Ramsey.
Oh,
it was I don't even want to do that, but yeah. That's how old I fucking am.
Ha Cafe. That reminds me of. Do you ever run into the guy Greg Buckman who goes, "Wow"?
No, I don't know. Greg.
Every punchline he goes, "Wow."
You don't know Ricky the C or Richie the C?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Kaboom.
Listen, I mean, do you think I don't know Richie the C?
That's Liquid Zoo. He was from like, or what
He's
was that
many places. Liquid Zoo is one of them, but also Universal Bar and Grill.
Universal Bar and Grill. I mean, for sure. Yeah. Like it's so funny looking back. I'm like, why the fuck was I going to these mics in the valley?
100%.
But I guess back in the day, that's kind of what it was. I mean, and I even commented that on, I forget who was on when they were talking about, I think it was Walsh. Was talking about like trying to play some mic, and I was like, they're definitely talking about Sunset Grill, which is maybe the first mic I actually did.
I don't even remember that one, but I feel like I might have been out here for it. Well, that's not the one that Stretch hosted, is it? Or Stretch hosted? You don't know? You remember Stretch HCP?
I don't know who that is, but it was right next to the Guitar Center.
I wonder do you know who hosted it?
I don't remember.
I wonder what that was, because the one...
It was different every time. It was one of those where it was like, different. 7 days a week.
Because that, like, when you say Guitar Center, to me, I think of Rock Paper.
Remember Rock Paper's after Sunset. I mean, they probably existed in the same time, but like, you know.
5 more minutes.
5 more minutes.
Yeah. Sunset Grill. Also, there is like a Sunset... There is like a Sunset Grill... still there, right?
Yeah, no.
So that was it. Was that that shit?
It was upstairs.
Oh my God! You know that place survived the pandemic?
That's wild to me.
Yeah, I went there with Maurice once, and I was like, "What the fuck is this place?"
Dude, no, that's like where, and because that's I think where I know a lot of guys. Like I know Brian Moses, and he's like really nice to me, and like throws me up and stuff, and it's because we like did that at the same time. Same with Jamar too. And like, I'm like, God, thank God I did this terrible mic 500 years ago because like, at least someone knows who the fuck I am.
Yeah. You can go to the store and Brian's always friendly. And Jamar's
but I'm like, God, I mean, like looking back, I'm just like I mean, I don't know about you. I've like never done well at open mics. Cause I also would, especially back when I first started, I would do what, you know, you were just talking about, just like kind of turning on the audience or like just being ridiculous or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway.
Yeah. Brendan's at your level when you started.
I'm master of that.
I heard what you said.
No, I'm at his level now. I regressed.
Hey, don't say that, Papa. You're doing great. I've seen you do very well.
This Tiger Thick's getting me blended.
It's getting thick ski. A little dicey. Do you have anything controversial you want to say about specific people?
Bill Maher's right.
When you were telling, I won't tell the story, but you know the women we love. You know that the one story you told me.
Wait. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I told the person. I told them that story. And they laughed. I was like, this could be a little dicey. I don't know if they'll enjoy
I think
story.
I told them too. I don't, or maybe not. But
yeah, they're probably too drunk to remember.
That was forever ago. Yeah.
God, I kind of want to do like. I mean, I'll never do it, but just because it's too much bullying. But just a podcast completely shitting on.
Oh no, my dream is to make it just so. And I almost even thought about this, like if Twitter really does go down, just do like a whole like thread of just like calling people out and like whatever.
Yeah.
And not even super maliciously, but just to be like, hey, everyone says this about you. Like kind of in like a, hey man, like. We're all pulling for you, but like, you know, I mean, well, you know, I bet you even know who I'm talking about right now, but I'm just like the most annoying person when it comes to booking a show.
Oh yeah. I saw him. I saw him.
I saw him at the market the other day, actually.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I saw him recently too.
And I was like, damn, he got booked on this.
booked on a
He
lot of
must have asked. Oh wait, but anyway, I'll tell you that off air too.
You know the nickname we gave him, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. You know, I think I came up with that nickname, but Heather Marule, somebody said that they came up, so maybe it was Heather. I can't remember.
It.
I might have stolen it.
My favorite story about that, I guess I can do this in a roundabout way. Going up to Lisa and Scott's wedding, I don't want to give away too much, but because then you could definitely figure it out. But someone died, and there was an article about it, and this person had the last quote pull in the article, and I was like,
oh yeah,
I was like, damn, did they email the Variety to ask to do that?
I know it is.
so dark, dude. Yeah, we talked about him once on an episode, and we made it too obvious, but they'll never know. He's so checked out, dude. The show that I saw him on. Well, so the show starts, right? And I'm like, damn, I see him go up and the crowd's great. And they're laughing and I'm like, oh, this crowd's really good. But then better comics go up and they don't do as well. And I'm like, oh, this crowd is fucking stupid. Yeah, they're like the dumbest crowd ever. But I mean, they didn't like not laugh, but I'm just like, you think that guy's better than this woman?
Look,
like,
I mean, I've always been against the philosophy that the audience is always right.
Oh, no.
I've always
Absolutely not.
You know, I'll take a punch at the audience any day of the week.
I was looking at I was getting angry at them.
Yeah.
I was like, these people are just the worst people ever.
I don't want to. That's like your Larry David in those stories where it's like, I don't want to perform for these fucking people.
I guess, but Larry David's right. I mean, he's right. I'll tell myself that story if I'm not doing well.
Right.
But Larry David just told people to fuck off or they didn't laugh. Maybe that's right.
Yeah.
You know, Emo can suck my dick. No, I'm just kidding. They were very nice. They laughed at most of my stuff.
Oh yeah, I like the part where they were like, "Bring back Gerardo."
Nobody said that.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
But also those like the shows like that though are like, I don't know about you, but like I don't know if it's masochistic or whatever the word is, but it's like there's part of me where I'm like, those are the shows where you do kind of feel like you're actually doing something, as opposed to when you're. I mean, there's nothing better than crushing, you know, whatever. There's not. I mean, yeah, that's great, but it's like, I don't know. It's kind of when you struggle a little bit, like when you kind of like do that thing, you purposely dig a hole a little bit and then get out of it. It's like, I don't know. I feel it's a little more fun. I think it might be actually a little bit more fun for the audience too, because they're gonna feel a little ownership.
I think so. They definitely went
those
with me.
Fucking plebes, those unwashed.
Yeah, those dumb motherfuckers.
The hoi polloi.
They went with me when I started talking about the abortion stuff. So that was like new, and you know, I was kind of just asking them what they think, and then making fun of them for not thinking the right thing. And then fucking Jerry Garcia went up and destroyed so hard from minute one.
Wait, there's a guy named Jerry Garcia.
You don't know Jerry?
Comedy?
He's
You
great.
don't know Jerry?
No,
He's great. He's
I don't know anybody. I'm like Gerardo.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't go up. This is an excuse, but I couldn't go. I wish I could go up there and say "foo" and all that and hit that, but he had that.
If I were to give you some advice, I'd be like, be funny first,
and then fuck around, a little bit,
dude.
Yeah.
You was all lit in the green room, being like, I'm gonna fucking say the Easy Balls thing.
I know, and then I didn't come out with that energy. I was just trying to make you guys laugh.
Yeah,
and then I when I went on stage,
some of the biggest boners I've pulled in my whole life have been like right before you go up, and you're like, I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
And then it's like, why the fuck did I do that?
Yeah, it ruins
what the fuck was I thinking?
Oh my
but
God.
But I also think that's when, you know, you do this for a while, it's like, am I really going to do the same thing every time?
Yeah.
It's boring. Like, I don't know. I just get bored really easy.
Although there is one thing where it's like, if you don't say the thing that you think is like, because you're worried about it,
that you're a pussy or something?
Yeah.
I definitely do that all the time. But then it's like, no. Those are your instincts, like telling you to not say something stupid.
That's true. So you give me your opinion on this, and can you bleep something if I tell you?
Yeah.
So this scenario,
it's just the whole thing that from now on is just you. It's just bleeped. Bleep, bleep. And I'm like, you can say that.
So.
Just text me later, remind me.
Yeah, I'll text you. This is probably so not something I should say.
Not worth it, yeah.
But at the Comedy Store, not worth it work.
Yeah.
At the Comedy Store, our boy.
You can say anything there.
Right, yeah, that's true. Moses, our boy, he put me on...
Storm?
Yeah, Moses Storm. Another great guy. I love you, Moses.
Yeah, but it's funny.
Yeah, but no, Brian, he put me on that roast battle pre-show.
Sure, yeah.
And Autistic Thunder, Josh, I forget his name.
Yeah,
You know
Josh.
what I'm talking about, right?
It's, Meyerowitz?
Josh Maris, yeah. And so Josh is bringing me up, and Josh knows me, but he's like, autistic. So he's like, oh, hey, acting all crazy. And then, but he when he brings me up, he's like, Brendan, and his last name sounds kind of racist, Cooney or whatever. And I thought about saying, when I went up, I was going to be like, can you believe that guy just called and said my name's racist? But it would have been fine in that room.
Here's what I'll say.
Yeah.
I do think you could say that there because it's a Comedy Store. And I could be totally wrong about this. And if I'm wrong, fuck me. I'm not going to die on this hill by any means. But I think that I like Josh. And I think Josh
and we're
gets
friends. He would laugh at it. He would laugh at it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you're not supposed to say that word.
Yeah,
I've been told and I understand.
I don't know, though. I think it's coming back a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe if the Republicans had won the Senate, we'd be able to say it. But I do think if there's anywhere you can say it and people would understand that it's not mean-spirited, I think it would be the Store. And I will say that too, like the Store used to have like a really, really bad reputation. And like, I think it's pretty easy to rip on the Store, but I will say the times that I've gone recently, shout out Luke Schwartz. It's awesome. It's fun. And I actually do get the feeling, I'm like, oh, you know what? Because I definitely do get the vibe of like, you really have to watch what you say at some shows. Like, I'm not trying to say, I do not give a fuck about woke cancel culture shit. I think that's a part of it. And like, you just have to deal with that shit. But I do think at the Store, it's like, I think you could have definitely said that.
Yeah. The
Store
Store would have been
comments,
fine.
everybody. Tell us what you think.
The Store would have been fine to do it. I think I don't know. I don't know why I didn't. And it botched the
You're a
set.
pussy.
Yeah, I'm a pussy. That's fine.
Also, too, like saying that, like if you're a comic, you want to say whatever you want to say on stage.
Yeah.
At least in my experience, having the safety net of your material to go back on, makes you not really give it all you can into the thing you want to say.
Sure.
Yeah.
So when you kind of try to abandon all that and you have to find the laugh,
but my thing too is that I'm like, okay, but sometimes am I just doing the thing you want to say thing because
you're
on
afraid,
some level, or no, at some level it's like, oh, it's funny. It's just fun to be naughty.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
just fun to like see what you can get away with. And I don't know if that's necessarily comedy every time that happens. It's definitely not what I've tried.
Yeah.
But I in that specific case, and again, I could be wrong. I think you could have done that.
Yeah.
The Store, you're right though. The Store has gotten a lot better. I mean, all the door people are people I know now, I'm friends with.
Well, and I've heard way dumber versions of that type of thing with less understanding and less of a punchline or comedy to it, that it's like, oh no, you can do that stuff as long as it's actually funny.
Yeah. And when I say I'm not actually talking about, I'm talking about people like Luke and Logan and Felicia folks and
you
Alex Hanna.
You need to bleep the word and you need to bleep everyone's name.
Keith Soul.
Keith Johnson. Keith Johnson.
Is he in a commercial?
Keith Johnson?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, all those people are definitely that. And
but yeah,
Bruce
I think,
Gray.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. No, you're not supposed to say it.
Maybe err on the side of caution, but
but like an edgelord is an edgelord is an edgelord.
That's the other thing too, is that I'm like, you're not really that, and I'm not really that either. So that's the thing too, where it's like you're also kind of venturing yourself into like, I think when you're on stage, you're on stage. It's your time. Like, do whatever the fuck you want. But the people that do that and do it well have pretty much established themselves as that. And the people that don't do it well are people that just kind of traffic in it here and there and get off on just like the naughtiness of it and don't actually have any material or punchlines to back it up. It's just like the shock value of saying it.
And if you're dealing with people like Joel Jimenez or Cooper Lyden, you have to know that that's what they are.
So Cooper, speaking of Cooper, he did a joke at Chatterbox. You might have been there actually, where like the punchline was saying that.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was pretty good. But like, but the best part was where he just goes, "We're taking it back," or something like that. Like, we're going to say it again. And I'm like, okay, that's really funny. But anyway, but that's also a mic.
Yeah, that's
a
mic
in Covina.
And it's like, it's one thing to say it at a show, but it's another thing to say it on YouTube or whatever. And also, I've been told by friends I'm not supposed to say it and whatnot. So I'm like, I guess I understand.
People got all these rules.
Yeah, there's like, I don't say it much. It's just the
Two
one
white guys talking about
show.
rules. It's not a good look.
Yeah, not a good look. Bo Burnham could do a whole thing.
Drinking Tiger Thick.
Do we have whiskey?
Dude, it's the whiskey, man. This made
This
me
is
crazy.
Shab did this. Shab is the blame. Shab is to blame, dude. We're just getting a little Netflix. Just a little bit dicey. You have to get dicey every once in a while, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, you can't have the sweet without the sour.
That's what I'm saying about without the whiskey sour. Would you do a special? How much would it cost you to do a special at Flappers?
I mean, which room?
I almost spit out my shit. Alan's always on.
The bar.
Yeah.
What was the name of the bar?
The Flappy Bar, right?
The Flappy Bar.
They were a Flappy Hour.
Flappy Hour.
It's when monsters instead of $9 is $8.
I would do a Flappy Hour special at the bar.
At the bar?
Behind the bar.
That would be kind of funny.
And I'm mixing drinks.
Well, that's
And I do it for $10,000.
And there's somebody on stage.
10K.
Do it in the bathroom.
Yeah.
You're really gonna like the comedy if you're gonna stay for that because it smells bad in there. There's not much.
These jokes stink.
Yeah, I had the darkest moments in that bar.
All right, should we pull up checking in with Scott?
Yes, sir.
Yes, checking in with Scott. Checking in with Scott.
Dude, so here's a little Scott sidebar while we get going. So they were in Chicago, and it was funny because I met up with Fritzy at this place called Ricochet's, and I think it's called Lincoln Square, part of town. We were watching like the Bulls game, and then we go down to Cole's, which is like a long comedy thing. Also, it was just fun. Like John Daly and this musician Colin Green, who's really awesome, were doing a show at Cole's randomly one night. We were there. I was like, this is just crazy running to them too, but I just get a text from Scott that's just the smiling devil emoji. And I was
that one?
I was like, what? I was like, literally that one? And I was like, what? And then Fritz goes, oh, I guess Scott and Lisa are in town. So that was Scott's way of telling me that like he's going to come to the bar and we're going to get really fucked up.
Yeah.
And then we just kept sending each other the devil emoji like the 3 days I was in Chicago. Anyway.
Classic Scott move. I mean, you can see from there.
Who's going to read it?
I mean, you've gotten really good at reading
All right.
stuff, so I'm going to say you.
This is
Checking in with Scott.
Checking in with Scott. This is from @Lursman. I'm in a stage of my life where the only things I care about are my wife, my dog, and banking Marriott points. Smiling devil emoji.
Damn, somebody's going to fucking Steve's wedding.
Yeah, Chateau Marriott.
Chateau Marriott, baby.
You know, I think he's a lie right there because they're not staying at the Marriott for Scott's thing. Or for Steve's thing.
Really? That's where we're staying, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Well, I have points at that. I'm going to use
I think so. Yeah.
Did you already get rooms?
I got a room. Yeah.
I got to do that with Johan. Johan, if you're watching this tomorrow, let's book a room.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. Tune in next week. Join the Discord. Thank you, Alan, for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's fun
It's
time.
an honor.
Honor.
Peace.